So the very fact that we are here together with MediaTek and Aircel talks about a focus on the end consumer and how would we like the end consumer experience to be. So instead of, let's say, going to the market and hunting into the different cores of the processor or the different technology elements, we thought it will be imperative if we can join hands and bring about an experience to the end consumer. So here you have a device range which runs from dual core to the octa cores, which is powered by MediaTek. You have a connectivity which is powered by Aircel. Depending on the feature, depending on the circle they're present in, it could be a 3G or a 2G connectivity. A lot of apps that come into this, and the device portfolio range of Micromax put together, packaged together, and brought to the end consumer, and at the same prices that they were enjoying earlier. So there is no additional increment for the data that they consume on an Aircel network, for the VAS they consume on the Aircel network. That's what is the value proposition here.
What are some of your strategies to improve the smartphone market share in India?
I think we have to move from as an industry being focused onto the hardware and the megapixels of the camera or probably the cores of the processor, talking about more of the smartphone experience that the end consumer desires. We would love to launch mobile phones which can really give the end consumer that experience that he's looking at. No point in me launching a 5G phone when the 5G network is not available. We don't want to charge for the technology. We want to provide an optimum price which is equivalent to the experience that the end consumer wants.
What are some of the demands of the end consumer?
I think higher processing speed as the gaming becomes critical for one of the key convenience of enjoying data connectivity. The videos consumption all would depend a lot on the processors, the speed of the processor, the core of the processor, obviously a great RAM which should be there on the mobile phone, and the best and not to be left out, the connectivity. The 3G connectivity that will be provided by the carrier. I mean, you have 3G connectivity from different carrier, but depending on the circle to circle, one carrier would score better than the other on the throughput that the end consumer gets.
Micromax doesn't share the revenue, but how has been the year?
I think it's been growing very well. Consumers have loved the brand through the year. We've been able to report some great performances, and if I'm not wrong, we should be growing at more than 100% Y on the revenue.
Oh, okay, super. Okay, I have seen in the tablet market share, it's not healthy performance from the Micromax side. Is there any specific reason, or what are you going to do this year?
I think the industry went through a change from largely being a Wi-Fi market. The market has also graduated, and suddenly we see the demand of the consumer for a SIM connectivity also. Also, at the same time, we were trying to align ourselves to the new government policies of getting the portfolio approved by BIS. So we were not using any short-term approaches, and we invested into a manufacturing setup. It's a group subsidiary who now manufactures 100% of the Micromax tablets, which are BIS certified. And I believe we are amongst the very few brands in India who are getting a BIS certified product in India now.
Okay, can you give update on your manufacturing thing?
So we've got this facility at Rudrapur, which is in Uttaranchal. It's a group subsidiary by the name of Bhagwati Products Limited, which runs up the show over there. And over there we are producing right now mobile phones, we are producing data cards, we are producing tablets, and also we are producing televisions.
Okay. Any plan for the wearable devices, because there is a lot of buzz around?
It's a fantastic technology. I think the initial proof of concepts that has been demonstrated by various brands talks about a big excitement on the hardware space. I don't believe it's an accessory. We believe we need to add a utility convenient to the concept, and that's going to be more adoptable then. Right now it looks very niche, targeting a very set consumer segment, but for it to get into the masses, I think at Micromax we'll have to do something to bring a more utilitarian approach to it, and we should see a great adoption of that.
Are you planning something this year on the wearable side?
A lot of R&D is being done onto that. Whether we'll be able to hit in the current financial year or not, I think we'll be able to hit in the current financial, if not calendar.
Okay, and there's two more questions, sir. On the 4G phones, any update now?
We continue to test the products with the latest options. The LT FDD is also to be added on the antenna side. So we continue to evolve the products as the networks become more reachable, as they become more penetrated in the city. I think we should be able to launch the portfolio.
Okay, there is a consolidation happening. Nokia is moving to Microsoft. Lenovo is acquiring Motorola. Is there any specific plan from your side? Have you thought about?
No, I think it's a wider acceptance of the device ecosystem by the other players in the industry. So if Microsoft being an OS player can acquire Nokia, or if Google being an OS player can acquire a Motorola, that brings out the importance of the device companies in the whole ecosystem or whole industry. And you'd largely see, though Microsoft has acquired Nokia, the Nokia has also launched Android. So that brings about the importance of the device companies actually in the telecom industry.